हैं जेमी ऑल्टर का। आप सभी को स्वागत, प्रणाम। आशा करते हैं आप लोग सब ठीक हैं, तंदुरुस्त हैं। कल का मैच देखा तो बहुत लेट तक गया, 1 बजे सुबह तक गया। मैंने नहीं देखा पूरा मैच, मैंने 11:30 के आसपास बंद किया, थोड़ा अपना शो देखा जियो सिनेमा में, अपने सो गया। बट व्हाट अ मैच, huh? And the final that the ACC wanted, the final that the broadcasters wanted, the final that many people wanted, यानी कि इंडिया वर्सेस पाकिस्तान, वो नहीं हुआ। इतना करीबी मामला रहा। हो सकता था अगर उस आखिरी बॉल पे श्रीलंका को 2 की जरूरत नहीं होती और चरित श्रीलंका जो 47 नॉट आउट बनाए वो नहीं मारते, 49 नॉट आउट बनाए वो नहीं मारते, तो फिर पाकिस्तान इंडिया का मुकाबला होता परसों के दिन। बट आई थिंक द मोस्ट डिजर्विंग टीम हैज गॉट देयर, क्योंकि श्रीलंका की टीम दोस्तों, जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, इनके पास इनके 4 मेन बॉलर्स नहीं है। दुष्मंत चमीरा, वनिंदु हसरंगा, लहिरू कुमारा, दिलशान मधुशंका। 4 फ्रंट लाइन यानी कि 1 2 3 4, जो 4 बॉलर इनके टीम शीट पे होते थे, अगर वो फिट होते, वो नहीं है। ठीक है, they've had to play in Sri Lanka, they've had to play in Pakistan, they've had some out of form batsmen। इनके बैट्समैन 3 ही चले हैं पूरे टूर्नामेंट में, इनके कप्तान को ज्यादा नहीं कर रहे हैं। इस सब के बावजूद दोस्तों, they played competitive cricket, and after 13 consecutive one-day wins in a row, they lost one match to India। काफी करीबी मामला था। जिस जिस मैच में उनके बॉलर्स ने बेहतरीन बॉलिंग करी, बैटिंग थोड़ी हल्की पड़ गई उस दिन, but to bounce back the next day in a rain, 2 days later in a rain curtailed match, to pull off that kind of chase, hats off to श्रीलंका। क्योंकि दोस्तों वो डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस हैं, और डिफेंडिंग चैंपियंस ने बता दिया कि भाई हम हमें हल्के में मत लेना, हम पहुंच गए हैं फाइनल। और अब इंडिया का जो भी फॉर्म है, जो भी मोमेंटम है, वो टक्कर देगी वो श्रीलंकन की टीम। आई थिंक इन माय माइंड द टूर्नामेंट गॉट द फाइनल इट डिजर्व, क्योंकि आप ये देखना चाहते हो इंडिया पाकिस्तान, हमारे इमोशंस, हमारे जज्बात एक तरफ। मेरा ये मानना है, और ये बहुत बार कह चुका हूं अपने शोज पर, जो भी कंपटीशन, मैं यहाँ बायलैटरल सीरीज की बात मैं नहीं कर रहा हूँ, मैं पूरे विश्व के जो भी स्पोर्ट्स है, फुटबॉल हो, बास्केटबॉल हो, हॉकी हो, बैडमिंटन हो, क्रिकेट हो, जो भी मल्टी टीम मल्टी नेशन टूर्नामेंट्स होते हैं, मेरा ये मानना है, आईपीएल भी आप इसमें जोड़ सकते हैं, the two most deserving, the two most competitive teams should always be in the final। फाइनल में ऐसे टीम्स को नहीं आना चाहिए जो कोई बैकडोर एंट्री से आए, या वॉक ओवर के कारण आए, या किसी और कारण। The teams that have played the best cricket consistently are the two teams that should always be in the final of such tournaments। और इंडिया unbeaten, the only team not to lose a match, to come off a tough time, player injury, inconsistent forms, इतने सवाल, इतने doubts हम सभी ने डिस्कस किए दोस्तों इस शो पर, to tick off every single box despite Shreyas Iyer's injury, despite a few problems here and there, to storm into the final। And now Sri Lanka, yes, they lost to India, but they fought, and there was a match which they look back and say शायद हमें वो मैच नहीं हारना था। पाकिस्तान, वही पाकिस्तान जिसने नेपाल को ठोका 248 रन से, जो भी था मार्जिन, that team to then stumble and lose 2 matches, it shows that they were not as good as many people felt। Yes, they're still a competitive team, लेकिन जब आपके मेन प्लेयर्स नहीं चलते, बाबर आजम पहले मैच में 150 रन, उसके बाद 4 मैच में 60 रन तक नहीं पहुंचे। फकर जमान स्ट्रगलिंग, इमाम उल हक अप एंड डाउन, बॉलिंग ऑब्वियसली वाज वेरी वीक। शादाब नहीं चले, नवाज नहीं चले, ये 3 फास्ट बॉलर्स पे निर्भर थे, और जैसे ही 2 फास्ट बॉलर बाहर हो गए और शाहीन शाह अफरीदी के 2 लगातार खराब दिन हो गए, तो दैट टीम लुक्स वेरी डिफरेंट। तो उस बैकड्रॉप से मेरा यह मानना है कि द टॉप 2 टीम्स हैव गॉट टू द फाइनल। व्हाट डू यू थिंक दोस्तों? निहार इज सेइंग हेलो, Devesh saying today maybe Shami Shardul will get the chance in the playing 11। आज कुछ चांसेस हो गए टीम में। वेल, सुनने में आ रहा है मुझे श्रीलंका से कि जसप्रीत बुमराह आज नहीं खेलेंगे, उनको रेस्ट देना चाहिए, और मैं इस बात से सहमत हूं। आप ऑलरेडी क्वालिफाई कर चुके हो, आज का मैच से आपको कुछ लेना देना नहीं है। यूर इन दैट, you're playing the team which is totally down on morale, which has struggled to win, that is Bangladesh। um I would say if Shreyas Iyer is fit, and I'm hearing that he's much better, don't know whether he's 100% match fit, लेकिन मेरा पूरा भरोसा है, और जो मैंने सुना है सूत्रों के अनुसार, this BCCI मेडिकल टीम, दिस स्टाफ इज नॉट टेकिंग एनी चांसेस। अगर उन्होंने बोल दिया है कि ये फिट है, तो ये फिट है। इफ ही कम्स इन टुडे, इट्स गोना बी टफ, बिकॉज देन लॉजिकली देखा जाए तो केएल राहुल ने जो वापसी करी, 100 मारा, बेहतरीन 39, गुड कीपिंग, इनफैक्ट वेरी गुड कीपिंग, ही इज नाउ कम बैक टू बीइंग इंडियाज नंबर वन कीपर बैट्समैन। अब श्रेयस अय्यर हक से स्टेटस पे, स्टैट्स के बदौलत वो नंबर 4 पे खेलेंगे या खेलना चाहिए। तो अगर वो फिट होते हैं, मेरे हिसाब से द ओनली प्लेयर दैट हैज टू गो आउट even the long run is now Ishan Kishan, because he's gone from being your first choice keeper to your second choice keeper. And when Shreyas Iyer is fit, India's best 11 includes KL Rahul at number 5 as keeper, includes Shreyas Iyer at number 4, and it does not include Ishan Kishan. लेकिन दोस्तों, क्योंकि केएल राहुल अभी 2 मैच खेले हैं बहुत समय के बाद, विराट कोहली काफी समय से खेल रहे, हो सके इनमें से एक को बाहर किया जाए, क्योंकि टीम ये भी देखना चाहिए कि सूर्य कुमार यादव, जो कि अब उस रिजर्व कैटेगरी में आ चुके हैं, जो शायद एक मैच खेले अगले महीने के वर्ल्ड कप में, क्या वो मैच फिट है, क्या वो मैच, उनकी मैच अवेयरनेस के पॉइंट्स के स्ट्रेंथ सारे टिप टॉप है। तो इस लिहाज से हो सके श्रेयस अय्यर अगर नहीं फिट हो, they might rest one of the two main batsmen and play Surya Kumar Yadav. Like I've said before, सूर्य कुमार यादव जैसे कि अक्षर पटेल को खिलाया पिछले मैच में, मकसद ये है कि वर्ल्ड कप में जो ये रिजर्व प्लेयर्स हैं, अक्षर पटेल 9 में से शायद 2 ही मैच खेले जहां पे थोड़ी घूमती हुई पिच मिले, uneven bounce वाली पिच मिले, that's his only chance. Shardul Thakur plays the maximum matches in the World Cup for reasons we've discussed many times. सूर्य कुमार यादव ओनली गेट्स अ मैच इन द वर्ल्ड कप अगर किसी बैट्समैन को चोट लग जाती है, निगल हो जाती है, या फिर कोई प्लेयर रेस्ट हो जाता है। सो इफ दे एक्सपेक्ट 1% chance of Sky getting a game in the World Cup, today might be that match to see whether he still got it in. Because जैसे कि मैं बहुत बार कह चुका हूं, 25 वनडे मैचेस में अभी तक सूर्य कुमार यादव ने मेरे लिए ऐसा कुछ नहीं किया कि वो दिखाएं कि वो लंबी रेस के घोड़े हैं जहां पे वनडे की हम बात करें। तो यस, बुमराह शुड बी रेस्टेड, इट मेक्स परफेक्ट सेंस। 11-12 महीने के बाद वो आए, उन्होंने अच्छी बॉलिंग करी, 2 मैच में फिट लगे, तंदुरुस्त लगे, तेजी से गेंद डाल रहे थे। Nothing to be gained by him playing this match. Play Mohammad Shami. Keep Mohammad Shami also on your toes. क्योंकि मोहम्मद शामी भी अब जसप्रीत बुमराह के आने से उस कैटेगरी में आते हैं कि अगर वर्ल्ड कप में वो कोई मैच खेले, वो तब खेलेंगे अगर जो, और ऐसा होगा नहीं, पिच 4 तेज गेंदबाज डिमांड करती है, हार्दिक पांड्या being the fourth, or unless they rest one of Siraj and Bumrah, then only to my mind मोहम्मद शामी को मौका मिलेगा वर्ल्ड कप के अंदर। तो इस लिहाज से आप लोग पूछ रहे हैं क्या कोई चेंजेस हो सकते हैं? आई थिंक मेरे हिसाब से 100%, 100% जसप्रीत बुमराह को आज रेस्ट करेंगे, उनके बदले मोहम्मद शामी आएंगे। अगर श्रेयस अय्यर फिट है, ही वॉक्स राइट बैक इन। इफ ही इज नॉट फिट, देन आई डोंट थिंक द टीम विल मेक चेंजेस। दे विल वांट टू कीप विराट कोहली एट 3, केएल राहुल और ईशान किशन एट 4-5, एंड देन यू हैव हार्दिक पांड्या। क्या अक्षर पटेल टीम में रहेंगे उस काफी फीकी बॉलिंग परफॉर्मेंस के बाद? अगर पिच वैसी है जैसे कि पिछले 2 मैच में हो, यानी कि टर्न ले रही है पिच, फिर अक्षर पटेल माइट प्ले, बट आई थिंक इट्स टाइम टू ब्रिंग बैक शार्दुल ठाकुर। आप लोग बताइए, आपके मन में, आपकी राय में क्या कोई चेंजेस हैं? मैं तो बोल चुका हूं मेरे हिसाब से क्या क्या चेंजेस हैं। पिच की बात करें दोस्तों, पिच इज प्रीटी मच गोइंग टू प्ले लाइक इट्स बीन प्लेड द लास्ट 2 मैचेस, क्योंकि देखो एक ही मैदान के ऊपर आपके पास 4 ऑप्शंस हैं पिच के। दो दो आप यूज कर चुके हैं, 3 आप यूज कर चुके हैं। इट्स गोइंग टू कम बैक टू प्रॉब्ली द फर्स्ट वन वेयर यू सॉ 350 रन तो बन गए थे ना। ये बांग्लादेश के सामने मैच है, देर आर स्ट्रगलिंग टीम, देर कैरिंग सम, they've also of course been hit by injuries. इनका भी फर्स्ट चॉइस टीम नहीं है, मुशफिकुर रहीम नहीं खेलेंगे ये मैच। They've got a couple out of form players. They're definitely, of the 4 teams that went to the Super 11s, they're definitely the team with the most problems. So let's see what happens. Shikhar's back. Welcome back. Iyer should come in for Virat if fit. Else give a chance to Sky. I agree. Iyer should come in. Um, if he's fit. Otherwise, probably you're right. Probably KL Rahul और विराट में से एक को आज ये रेस्ट करेंगे, just to give them, another day before the all-important final. Nihar, will Team India play same team in final as Super 4 against Lanka? Depends on the pitch. I don't think Akshay Patel will play. They'll go back to Shardul, because look at the ball that Shardul bowled to Mohammad Rizwan. Look at that match against Nepal. After a very poor start, Shardul got you the breakthrough um, against Nepal, and Shardul also got you the vital wicket of Mohammad Rizwan. The same Mohammad Rizwan who yesterday, barring a very, very narrow result, could have been the man of the match. I think Shardul, despite his obvious weaknesses, shortcomings, because वो wicket taking bowler है, I think Shardul will come right back. Akshay Patel blew a massive chance to impress. Sky will be used has finishing touches in the last overs. Again, Sky will play because the team knows कि in the World Cup of their 9 league matches, he might only get one if they decide to rest. He's definitely not a first choice player. Like I said, if they want to keep him on his toes and see what he, because you don't want a rusty Suryakumar Yadav suddenly coming off the bench in the World Cup. So logically, he should play. I would say even if Iyer is fit, maybe you can rest KL Rahul and Virat Kohli, and you can play Sky and Iyer. Do you think Hardik will be rested as team is concerned about his workload management? Ankur, it's a very valid question. It could be, but because he's not bowling more than 4 or 5 overs, he's not getting much of a chance to bat. I know he's batted some vital innings, but probably because वो 5-6 ओवर वाले बॉलर हैं. आपको आपको वर्ल्ड कप में आपको 15 ओवर 14 ओवर आपको सूर्य कुमार आपको हार्दिक पांड्या और शार्दुल ठाकुर से निकालना पड़ेगा. तो आई थिंक आई अंडरस्टैंड व्हाई देयर बी a certain thought behind giving him rest. But I think उनको आज का मैच खेलना चाहिए because he's looking very good. He's not exerting himself or he's not overexerting himself. So I think he should play. Iyer should be in the World Cup 11. Oh, bilkul. If Iyer is fit, Ishan Kishan does not even get into the 11. We've been saying this for the last 6 months. Iyer is India's best number four stats wise. He plays spin brilliantly. He would have been a very fine player to have against Sri Lanka. Question is वो इतने बार अनफिट होते हैं कि उनके ऊपर हमेशा एक सवाल रहता है. And it's a back spasm, back surgery, very very crucial injury that he's coming off. But in a perfect world, in a World Cup, Shreyas Iyer bats 4 and KL Rahul bats 5. Ishan Kishan, hard luck, doesn't get a game. Ravi Kumar is here. Can India give a rest to Virat Kohli? You've asked yesterday's question from Cricket Next. Virat Kohli probably will be rested. Bumrah definitely will be rested. Hardik Pandya, again, there's a lot of logic, like people are saying. He should be. I just think आज के मैच में Hardik Pandya खेलेंगे. Virat Kohli. If Iyer is fit, then Iyer plays and Shreyas Iyer, and then Ishan Kishan goes out. If he's not fit, I would say then you play Sky and you have a choice of resting either KL Rahul or Virat Kohli. I don't think they'll do it twice. Like I said in yesterday's show, this whole idea about resting Virat Kohli, which is very, very surreal by Indian standards when he's available, I think the Indian team made that mistake in the West Indies. You kept him back in the West Indies after a tough test series. You had 3 one-day matches. You dropped him for the last two, as in you rested him for the last two. और पहले मैच में आपने उनसे बैटिंग ही नहीं करवाई. कहने का मतलब है कि नंबर 7 पे उस पहले वनडे मैच में जब स्कोर आपका टारगेट 115 था, आपने रोहित शर्मा को नंबर 7 पे बैटिंग कराई और आपने विराट कोहली को 8 पे बैटिंग कराई. आई थिंक द रेस्टिंग फेज और द एक्सपेरिमेंट अबाउट गिविंग विराट कोहली रेस्ट हैज गॉन. जितना भी मैं जानता हूं विराट कोहली को, he would want to play this match, but I would be not surprised if it happens. Any news on domestic tournaments? Geo Cinema has the rights. They've been ordered to give a specific amount of numbers matches. एक से कहाँ था वो? I got that mail also something. I don't know the exact number, but there was a mail that said that Geo has to show a specific amount of matches. So definitely the matches will be on that. एक second कहाँ गया वो? I had that mail from Geo somewhere. एक second. I don't know where it's gone, but yes, all the domestic matches, as many domestic matches will be there, will be on Geo Cinema. Karthik asked the question. Yes. In fact, I had that mail. One second, let me just get that match for you. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Yes, here we go. It's starting with the India Australia series. Viacom has got the rights. Just give me a second. Uh, Arre, there was a specific a second. There was a specific mail that mentioned ICC had sent a BCI had sent a mail. But I think I knocked that mail off. Anyways, chodo. But yes, to answer your question, it will be on Geo Cinema. Shikha Singh, can you get Babar Azam stats and how many centuries are in winning cause? Yes, my friend. I had done this yesterday. I was having an argument on air about Babar Azam. Let me tell you. Shikhar, you want to know Babar Azam's hundreds in winning causes, right? चाहे बैटिंग पहले हुई चाहे बैटिंग बाद में हुई ना। एक सेकंड ना, जस्ट टेल यू। ओके, शिखर, दिस इज फॉर यू। बाबर आजम इन विन्स। ओके, आपका सवाल क्या था? यू सेड can you get Babar's stat as in how many? Acha, you only want to know his centuries or his overall stats? Let me know. What's your take on yesterday Pak versus SL match? Well, I started the show by saying what an outstanding win, and Mohammad Rizwan came so close to being man of the match. I think definitely Pakistan choked it. Sri Lanka were in control for major portions, but when you get 252 in 52 in 42 overs, you should defend it. I think Pakistan, their steady decline since that first match against Nepal was evident. Sri Lanka played better cricket, and Pakistan choked yesterday's match. Yes, Atul, they self-destruct again fighting. But like I said, I know they've been dangerous. I praise their bowling. I praise Babar's captaincy. But overall, I go back to what I said before this Asia Cup. I know they're ranked number one, but I do not see anything great, any consistency in their one-day cricket because it's played in certain conditions. Yes, they've been dangerous on their day. भाई साहब, ये तगड़ी टीम है, हम सब जानते हैं। जिस दिन शाहीन, नसीम और हारिस रॉफ चल गए, जिस दिन शादाब ने विकेट लिए, जिस दिन बाबर चले, जिस दिन फकर चले, जिस दिन रिजवान चले, this team can take on anyone. But consistently, despite having a very consistent team by their standards, by their chaotic standards, मुझे कभी नहीं लगा कि यार ये टीम कुछ बड़ी बड़ी टक्कर की टीम है. So that's why I hold my reservations around them. अय्यर हैज स्टार्टेड प्रैक्टिस इन नेट। सर प्लीज टाइमिंग को 5 मिनट से 1 मिनट कर दो। ध्रुवेश, पता है मुझे कि वो नेट्स कर रहे हैं, मैंने वीडियो देखा, लेकिन सवाल ये है कि जब मैंने 1 मिनट किया था तो इतने सवाल आए थे, आप लोग मल्टीपल क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं, बहुत बहुत व्यूअर्स, क्योंकि अक्सर मैं 3-4 मिनट लगाता हूँ सवाल का जवाब देने में, बहुत बहुत व्यूअर्स मुझसे नाराज थे, तभी मैंने 5 मिनट का कैप रखा। बुरा ना मानो दोस्तों, करना पड़ा। Why do all the experts and players so adamant on Chahal playing and undermine batting depth? Don't you think the modern day cricket requires batting depth? Tame Impala, my friend, I've been saying this since the start of the year. Chahal was never going to go to the World Cup for two reasons. If he plays, he's not worked harder enough on his batting. He's a liability. He's a fantastic bowler. He could have won many, many matches. But the fact is, you cannot have four specialist bowlers in your 11. And by that logic, Chahal becomes one of the players like Shami who stands to miss out more matches. उससे बड़ी बात यह है कि जब से रोहित शर्मा कप्तान बने हैं, या तो उन्हें युजवेंद्र चहल से दिक्कत है, या उनको युजवेंद्र चहल की समझ नहीं आई कि how to play him. Because when Virat Kohli was captain, Chahal played a lot more. Since Rohit came over and became captain, Kuldeep Yadav got more chances. So by process of elimination, I was very, very sure that Chahal would not go to the Asia Cup and he will not go to the World Cup. Now, you can argue that he should be there. India will probably need a bowler of his skill as compared to Akshay Patel in the World Cup if Kuldeep gets injured or you play on a track where you need a specialist spinner. They might miss Chahal, but I think Chahal is probably doing too much Instagram, too much reels rather than working on his batting. आज के जमाने में आपको अपनी बैटिंग पे मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी। बुमराह ने बहुत मेहनत करी है, शामी ने थोड़ी बहुत मेहनत करी है, सिराज ने इतनी मेहनत नहीं करी है। बट चहल, इफ यूर ओनली ऑफरिंग वन स्किल इन दिस डे एंड एज, आपकी जगह नहीं बनती। कड़वी बात है लेकिन सच्ची बात है। For Park, how part-timer Ifti got good help then Shadab? इफ्तिकार did well yesterday, but उससे पहले 3 मैच में वो पिटे। देखो ऐसे बॉलर जो है ना, इफ्तिकार अहमद, चरित असलंका, ये पार्ट टाइमर्स हैं। ये कभी चलेंगे कभी नहीं चलेंगे। जिस दिन बैट्समैन को रन्स की खोज है, they actually stand to get more wickets because batsmen will go after them. शादाब का तो यार वो नेपाल मैच को छोड़े तो पूरा साल शादाब का काफी खराब फॉर्म चल रहा है। I think Pakistan have a real headache when it comes to Shadab Khan going into the World Cup. Just the way management should is giving chances to Kuldeep, Bishnoi should get chances. Oh, भाई श्रीकर मैया, आप कहाँ हो इतने दिन से? मैं तो पिछले साल से कह रहा हूं कि मेरे सबसे फेवरेट यंग बॉलर रवि बिश्नोई है. Look at his stats. He should be playing every second T20I match for India. But in T20Is, जहां पे कुलदीप और चहल खेलते हैं, it's very obvious that a third wrist spinner, a third leg spinner is not going to play. That said, I think Chahal has been phased out. He's 32, 33. Ravi Bishnoi, if he keeps performing, and I know he had a tough time in the West Indies, but उस वेस्ट इंडीज टूर से पहले आप इनके आंकड़े देखे, लड़का विकेट टेकर है. मैं साल 1.5 साल से कह रहा हूं कि इसको ज्यादा मैचेस खिलाओ. वो दिन दूर नहीं है जब रवि बिश्नोई वर्ल्ड कप कैन selectors select Tilak Verma and Prasidh Krishna as backup. Yes, of course they can. Babar's overall stats in winning causes home. Okay, so I've got the stats. Okay, Here is, let's look at Babar. This is because Shikhar Singh asked me. This is Babar Azam's stats in matches won by Pakistan. Overall, 108 matches, 58 matches have been won. In those 58 matches, Babar Azam has batted 56 times. In those 56 times that Babar Azam has batted and Pakistan has won a match, he's averaging 81.5 at a strike rate of 90.14. 15, Shikhar Singh, here's the key stat. 15 of his overall 19 one-day hundreds have come in wins. These are outstanding stats. This is what I was having an argument yesterday. Babar Azam, yes, I don't agree that he's the number one batsman in the world. I think he's a rather flat track bully. But आंकड़े बताते हैं कि बाबर आजम के पास 3,586 runs in just wins at an average of 81 at a strike rate of 90. और सबसे बड़ी बात, उनके 19 वनडे शतक में से 15 जीतने वाले मैच में आए. यानी कि बाबर आजम, irrespective of your view on him, he is a match winner. अब शिखर सिंह ने पूछा कि can we break it up to home and away? Let's do the same thing. Let's look at home first because majority of his runs have come at home. Shikhar Singh, 16 matches Babar Azam has played in wins. He's got 1,151 runs. Again, look at the average. His average is 82.2 in wins at home. He's got 600s at a strike rate of 100. This is in wins at home. Okay, so outstanding stats overall, home and away in one-day wins of Pakistan. Outstanding stats at home. Now let's look at away. यानी कि पाकिस्तान से बाहर इनके आंकड़े क्या है? 20 matches Pakistan have won away. He's batted 19 times, 300s, an average of 81 and a strike rate of 90. So you look at Babar Azam's overall one-day stats when Pakistan wins. You look at the overall stats in Pakistan wins at home and away. The average is consistently above 81 and the strike rate is consistently above 90. Shikhar Singh, I hope I've answered your question. Okay, Aminat is back. जय भाई कैसे हो जैन? क्या सिराज मोहम्मद शमी से अच्छा है? नॉट ओवरऑल इन देयर ग्रोथ, क्योंकि शामी बहुत साल से खेल रहे हैं, उनकी एक कला है, रिस्क के साथ वो बहुत ज्यादा है, लेकिन वनडे में मोहम्मद सिराज एनी डे, उनमें वो जोश है, वो जज्बा है, वो फिटर है, एंड एनी डे आई विल पिक मोहम्मद सिराज ओवर मोहम्मद शमी इन व्हाइट बॉल क्रिकेट. Feeling sad for you, bro. We all India wanted. Arey, don't be sad for me, yaar. I was saying I would much rather have an India Sri Lanka final because you want the better teams. So don't feel sad for me. I was never one of those people who said India Pakistan. I said let the best two teams win. और जैसे कि मैंने predict किया था, सबसे बेहतरीन दो teams final पे आई है. Crick Maniac, I think Tilak should bowl today instead of Akshar. Um, I get why you would want to play him, but I know that Tilak Verma is not going to the World Cup, so there's no real point. You know, you want all your players who are in the World Cup squad, you want them. Tilak Verma, I know people think he might be a standby player, but I just don't think he stands a chance. I would much rather use that one space to play Suryakumar Yadav, who might get one chance in the World Cup. I would much rather see him play today on the off chance, खुदा ना खास्ता किसी को चोट लगे World Cup में, and Sky has to step in. I'd much rather say, hey, at least we gave him that one match in the Asia Cup. Tilak Verma, nah. Babar proved again why everyone called him Zim Babar. Pathetic captaincy, shine again failed. Exactly, Shijan. There are very obvious cracks in this Pakistan team, which have been laid bare with each match of the Asia Cup. And I don't see them. Like I said initially, months ago, about 6-7 months ago, मैं किसी यूट्यूबर के पॉडकास्ट पे गया था. He asked me my World Cup 4. At that point, I had put Pakistan at number 6. I'd put New Zealand at number 4. Then, when I saw how poor Sri Lanka were playing cricket, poor in the sense that उनको ICC World Cup में qualifiers में खेलना पड़ा, and because their record in India is not very good, I put Sri Lanka at 5. Then when Kane Williamson was ruled out initially, and when Michael Bracewell was ruled out, I then bumped up only because I have no options. I never ranked South Africa. So by default, I had to bump up Pakistan to my 4th semi-finalist. Lekin ab, the way that New Zealand is playing one-day cricket in England, playing T20 cricket, I've now put them back at number 4 because Kane Williamson is back. वो एक जीनियस प्लेयर है. उनके आने से टीम का मनोबल बढ़ जाता है, टीम की स्ट्रेटजीज बेहतर हो जाती है. Now Pakistan are back to number 6 in my World Cup reckoning, and number 4, New Zealand are back. Do you think SL can pull it off? भैया मैंने कल कहा था एक और लाइव शो पे एक न्यूज चैनल पर इंडिया वुड रादर हैव फेस्ड पाकिस्तान बिकॉज पाकिस्तान क्रिकेट इज ऑन द डिक्लाइन सिंस दैट फर्स्ट मैच. इनके पास नसीम नहीं है, इनके पास हारिस रौफ नहीं है. इंडिया वुड नॉट वांट टू प्ले दिस रेयरिंग श्रीलंकन टीम which is back in form. I know India beat them, but the way you compare the way that Pakistan's pace bowlers troubled India's top order to the way that on that turning track, Sri Lanka's bowlers put India in pressure. India would any day, I think, prefer to face Pakistan without Haris Rauf, without Naseem Shah, than against the Sri Lankan team, which has fought tooth and nail against India and against Pakistan. अब देखिए, अभी तीनों टीम्स जो हम देखें, मोमेंटम किसके पास है? श्रीलंका के पास है. Because Dinut Velalage, Charit Asalanka, all these bowlers, the way they fought in two matches, अगर by chance परसों का मैच यानी कि संडे का फाइनल एक घूमती हुई ट्रैक पे आए, which team do you think India would want to face? Pakistan, which all their spinners are not working, or Sri Lanka, who have three spinners? I think Sri Lanka are actually the favorites in the final. India got there first. India won three matches. बट जिस तरह की क्रिकेट और ये घर पे खेल रही है, इनको प्रेमा दासा का अंदर बाहर पता है. इफ द ट्रैक इज टर्निंग, दिनुत वेलालागे, महेश तीक्षणा एंड असलंका ये इंडिया का हालत खराब कर सकते. दैट सेड, if the track is flat, if the track is aiding pace bowling, hands down India have the advantage because India have a team जो 350 बना सकती है. श्रीलंका के पास वो बैटिंग लाइनअप, वो बैटिंग फॉर्म नहीं है जो 350 बना सके. On a good day against India's very good bowling, Sri Lanka might get to 270, 280. On a good day, if the track is good for batting, India hands down 350 रन बनाएगी. यानी कि कहने का मतलब है it all comes down to the pitch. कौन खेलेगा फाइनल वो तो ऑलरेडी तय हो चुका है, इंडिया श्रीलंका. Do you endorse the horses for courses strategy of the Indian cricket team? I do, absolutely. Because you have to see, not overhead, you have to see what's below you. What kind of track are you playing? Matches are not won by looking up, they're won by looking down. And us हिसाब से, I'm on the same page. Us destroying India's hype is helping the team. Congrats, anyone. बहुत खूब, Shikhar Singh, बहुत खूब. Not counting his ODI record, would you consider Sky to be the next best player who can attack spin in India after a year? No, I would still think KL Rahul's game against spin is far more developed, far more successful against spin. Number one bowling attack, number one batsman, Zindabad, Lambar center team. By team के तो बुरे हाल हैं आजकल. Why is Jason Roy not playing? He's not fit. He's got a niggle. Where do you think Shadab Khan went wrong? Pace or anything else? Because Iftikhar bowled slow. See, it's a good question, Shikhar. Very good question. You see, Shadab Khan this year has been very, very average, very, very inconsistent in white ball cricket. You see, he's had some good matches, but they've come against the weaker teams. And I'm saying he's a big match player. I would not for a second make the mistake of saying कि ये World Cup में नहीं चलेंगे because he's proven himself to be a big match, a big match player. Basically, वो बड़े मैच में वो कुछ करते हैं. Look at that match against Afghanistan last month. They were chasing 302. The team was down and out. Imam got 91. Babar got 58, 68. But the man of the match was Shadab Khan because he got 48 of 35. यानी कि वो थोड़े पागल जज्बा टाइप प्लेयर है वो. लेकिन जब आपकी बॉलिंग खराब है, जब आप गेंद को फ्लाइट दे रहे हो, जब आप घूमती हुई पिच पे बॉल को टप्पा, बात होती है टप्पे की. अगर एक स्पिनर बॉल को टप्पे पे नहीं लगा सकते कंसिस्टेंटली, then you're going to struggle. Now, that said, Babar Azam has a disadvantage. Every team knows कि अगर शाहीन, नसीम और हारिस रौफ को हमने खेल लिया, चाहे वो सफल रहे, चाहे वो नहीं सफल रहे, शादाब खान एंड द फिफ्थ बॉलर, चाहे वो नवाज हो, चाहे फहीम अशरफ हो, Iftikharo, these are the bowlers we need to attack. And like Rohit showed, when you attack him, he can go for 31 in 2 overs. Then his confidence is shattered. So he needs to understand the teams, the sight of Shadab Khan, irrespective of what the conditions are, the sight of Shadab Khan after Naseem, Afridi, and Haris Rauf is going to give every single batting team a green light, a free pass to attack him. If he doesn't develop, if he doesn't make his variations go, he's going to go for runs. And we've seen that. I think he was a bit too overconfident. He thought these conditions were going to suit him, but he's had a terrible Asia Cup, barring that one match against Nepal when he got 4-0. He has a lot of challenges ahead of him because Pakistan do not have any second spinner. Gone are the days of Saeed Ajmals and Yasir Shahs and Shoaib Maliks and Afridis. अभी इनके पास केवल और केवल शादाब खान है और अगर वो नहीं चलेंगे तो ये टीम पिटेगी वर्ल्ड कप में. I completed certificate course on freelance journalism, but I'm confused how to doing. Uh, See, there's no course for freelance journalism. You become, look at me. For 18 years, I was part of major media houses. 18 साल तक मैंने बड़े बड़े मीडिया हाउसेस में मैंने काम किया. मैंने शुरू क्रिकइंफो से किया. उसके बाद मैं 10 स्पोर्ट्स गया. उसके बाद मैं नेटवर्क 18 का स्पोर्ट्स एडिटर था. उसके बाद मैं टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया का स्पोर्ट्स एडिटर था. उसके बाद मैं जी का स्पोर्ट्स एडिटर था. 18 साल ऑफिस में काम करके कॉन्टैक्ट्स बना के नाम बना के मेहनत करके आफ्टर 18 17 years after journalism I then said, you know what, अब I want to do freelance because Ravi Shankar, I had made the contacts, I had made a name for myself, you know. So you cannot just start off by becoming a freelance journalism. कोई जर्नलिस्ट कोई आप पे दाव नहीं लगाएगा जब आपके पास वो बॉडी ऑफ वर्क नहीं है. इफ यू वांट टू बिकम अ फ्रीलांस जर्नलिस्ट यू फर्स्ट नीड टू slog for many many years to get credibility, to show a body of work. If today people are paying me to talk to you on YouTube, to sit on Cricket Next, to sit on TV9, to host my own podcast, to do videos, to write, if I'm being flown down to Bombay to interview Shubman Gill, if someone is paying me to get Chris Gale on my podcast, if I'm being paid to cover the World Cup, it's because, yes, I'm a freelancer. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to make myself sound arrogant or make myself sound like I'm some big thing. मैंने बहुत मेहनत करी यहाँ पर आने तक. तो Ravishankar, I wish you all the best. You say you got the right degree, but as someone starting off, you cannot start off, unfortunately, as a freelancer. Because आज के दिन में जब freelancer की ज़्यादा अहमियत नहीं है, to be very, very frank, you need to have that body of work. I'm blessed कि ऊपर वाले ने मेरे साथियों मेरे फॉर्मर एडिटर्स ने जितने भी सारे मेरे कॉलीग्स हैं उन्होंने मुझे मेरा साथ दिया. It's because of all these articles I've done. You can see things behind me. This is why I'm very, very proud of my achievements. I'm not trying to send you down the wrong track, Ravi Shankar, but in today's world, purely in the world of sports journalism, if you are a freelancer, it's because you've done something that someone is willing to say, okay, you know what? He's not attached to any major media house anymore, but he's done enough work. Is bande ka naam hai, iska thoda respect hai. That's why. I hope I've come across as honest. I'm not being arrogant. I'm just trying to say कि अगर मैं आज 17 साल इस लाइन में रहकर अगर मैं अब जाके फ्रीलांसर हूं तो ये बहुत सोच समझ के एक कैलकुलेटेड रिस्क है. And I think I'm very, very blessed to be able to do it. Pak goes down on IC rankings. Yes, Dhruvesh, what's the latest? What is Pakistan's latest ranking? Please let me know. Is Kuldeep successor of Ashwin? Yes, this question was asked yesterday, and I'm saying yes again. Totally irrespective of the pitch system, I want India to chase, and I hope Bangladesh gives a good 250 plus target and swing and spinning and need these type of chases pre-World Cup. Absolutely, I agree. India need to be put under the pump by Bangladesh, and I'm on the same page. It'll be very challenging, but India need to be challenged more than they have overall in this Asia Cup. World Cup 23 qualifiers, top four. Top 23 qualifiers. What do you mean by qualifiers? Qualifiers to only Sri Lanka and West Indies. Are you saying, Shubham, that your top semi-finalists? I think you got the wrong word. You're saying these are your semi-finalists. India, Australia, England, New Zealand. Bilkul, they're the same four of mine. I think you mean semi-finalists. I refuse to believe Park has no frontline spinner. Again, I don't watch their cricket. I don't know. I said yesterday, Abrar ul Haq, जो कि टेस्ट मैच में काफी अच्छी बॉलिंग करते हैं, हो सके वो आ जाए. But if they have spinners, why aren't we seeing them? So I don't have a clue about Pakistan domestic cricket. Can we get the backstory of the trophies? A lot of trophies here. These are all trophies. So I play here in NCR. I play for two teams, LIT Cricket Club and SOP. These are various man of the match trophies I've won. This was man of the match for we played a trophy called the Independence Cup. I took 4 wickets for 9 runs in 4 overs. That was one. This was when I took 4 for 7. This is a runners up. ये कौन सा है भाई? This is a runners up trophy for a tournament I played with my favorite team, LIT. यहाँ पे भी दो और man of the match है. यहाँ पे एक most wickets. These are all the trophies that I won playing for my two club teams. ए मेरी छोड़ी यार, मैं कौन हूँ? How was your experience interviewing Shubman? Good. It is my second interview with Shubman Gill in the last 2 years. I framed the other one up there. These are both for GQ magazine. One came out last year in Feb. This one is coming out on the 1st of October. It was very, very good. He's in a very, very confident space despite a poor run in the West Indies. और देखिए मुझसे बात करने के 3 हफ्ते बाद अब वो नंबर 2 रैंक बैट्समैन है. मैं बहुत बहुत खुश हूँ. शुभन ने मुझसे कहा था कि I can feel the runs coming back and hats off to him after a terrible match against Pakistan. He's now got runs in the Asia Cup. He's looking very, very good and he's ranked number 2. Acha, Pakistan 3 and India 2. Great, great, great. Context make ODIs much more exciting. Time to bring trices. भाई रोहिताब झा आपने मेरी दिल की बात कह ली, मन की बात कह ली. मैं कब से कह रहा हूँ. जब से लॉकडाउन के टाइम मैंने ज्यादा वीडियोस बनाना शुरू किया यूट्यूब पर, मैं कह रहा हूँ we need the try series back. Every time I've had an opportunity to ask players. पिछले हफ्ते मैंने क्रिस गेल और डैनी मॉरिसन इसी पॉडकास्ट पे आए थे मेरे साथ. वो वीडियो मैं आपको अक्टूबर 2 या 3 को लगाऊंगा. मैं ऑनलाइन, बहुत बहुत लंबी वीडियो है, 50 मिनट का वीडियो है. उसको मुझे अभी एडिट करना पड़ेगा. इन दैट इंटरव्यू विद क्रिस गेल एंड डैनी मॉरिसन, आई आस्क्ड देम, डू यू बिलीव क्रिस गेल, आई डोंट वांट टू गिव इट अवे. क्रिस गेल ने कहा था कि जब मैं वनडे खेल रहा था अपने अंतरराष्ट्रीय करियर के आखिरी 5 साल में, आउटफील्ड पे खड़े होकर कोई भी फॉर्मेट ज्यादा बोरिंग, ज्यादा हैवी वनडे क्रिकेट के ज्यादा मुझे नहीं लगा. और फिर मैंने पूछा, डू यू बोथ? आई सेड, डैनी, you played in the era, you played in the 80s, 90s when tri series were everywhere, quadrangulars. Do you feel? And Chris, you played. They both said, जय भाई आपने बिल्कुल सही मुद्दा उठाया है. हमारी बिनती, हम अपील करते आईसीसी से कि ट्राई सीरीज और क्वाड्रेंगुलर्स बाकी वापस आ जाएं, क्योंकि वनडे क्रिकेट, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी और वर्ल्ड कप को छोड़ के it is not viable. Chris Gale and Danny Morrison both said कि the most boring format is bilateral one-day cricket, जो कि मैं बहुत साल से कह रहा हूँ. Bilateral one-day cricket is the most boring cricket I've seen. So I hope the ICC listens to Chris Gale and Danny Morrison and they do away, or they reduce the number of bilateral series and bring back the tri series. Rahul is saying, sir, I think now top 4 for World Cup will be Australia, England, India, 3 spot confirmed, fourth place. Sri Lanka, if they play good cricket, they might be there, but I think New Zealand, जिस तरह से वो खेल रहे हैं अभी इंग्लैंड के सामने, I know different pitches, but New Zealand are always good. So for me, New Zealand come to number 4. India has been struggling against spin post COVID. Oh भाई श्रीकर, इतनी बार मैं लिख चुका हूं, बहस हो चुकी है मेरी लोगों से. India's struggle against spin, in my view, has been a steady decline, a steady process for several years now. It's because the Lakshmans, the Dravids, the Tendulkars, the Gambhir, the Sachins, the Sehwags, these players, they were better quality of players. They were not playing anywhere near as much as T20 cricket. So, to my mind, the increase in T20 cricket has added to this decline, because the T20 में आप टेस्ट नहीं हो रहे हो क्वालिटी स्पिनर्स, आप टेस्ट होते हो रांझी खेल के, दुलीप खेल के, विजय हजारे खेल के, टेस्ट खेल के, वनडे खेल के. सो टू मच T20 हैज मेड बैट्समैन अ बिट वेरी अगेंस्ट स्पिन. ऊपर से आप क्रिकेटर बनते हो डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट में ए टीम्स में सफलता हासिल करके. जब आप ज्यादा डोमेस्टिक क्रिकेट नहीं खेलते हो, यू आर नॉट प्लेइंग अ वैरायटी ऑफ स्पिनर्स, यू आर जस्ट प्लेइंग द सेम लेवल ऑफ स्पिनर्स इन द नेट्स डे इन डे आउट. एंड समथिंग, और ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, ये आई सेड दिस ऑन यस्टरडे शो या परसों के शो पे. Ravi Shastri, Sunil Gavaskar, Gautam Gambhir, the finest player of spin I've seen after Sachin Tendulkar across 3 formats. ये लोग कह रहे हैं, संजय मंजरेकर, India has a problem against quality spin. It's nothing new. It's not just post-COVID. Virat Kohli's problems against spin have been post-COVID. He was a damn fine player of spin, but when he's getting out to Moeen Ali's, to Aiden Markrams, to Mehdi Hassan Mirages, there's a problem. I cannot say exactly, कि जितना भी मैंने सुना है, मैंने बात किया प्लेयर से, बहुत लोग कहते हैं डोमेस्टिक अंतरराष्ट्रीय पूर्व दिग्गज प्लेयर्स, वो कहते हैं कि the rise of T20 cricket and not playing enough domestic cricket to enhance your game against a wider pool of spinners is the major reason for India's batsmen not being good as they were against spinners before. Problem is Pakistan were comparing ODI stats, Imam and Saeed and Babar and Javed Miandar. बिल्कुल सही है. They get too caught up in infighting and pointing figures. इनके यहाँ बहुत camps है, but it's tough. I created a website to start freelancers and I'm doing writing articles on the website. What needs to be next? Ravi Shankar, you need to start sending these articles out. Send your links to all the major media houses. Nobody will realize कि रविशंकर कुमार क्या कर रहे हैं जब तक आप अपने सारे आर्टिकल्स को भेजिए. आप टाइम्स ऑफ इंडिया को भेजिए, आप जी को भेजिए, If they're on cricket, send them to all the cricket websites. People need to know you're out there. Write articles, use social media. It's a fantastic tool. When done right, social media is such a fantastic tool. Share these links, tag all the media houses. सवाल मेरा आपसे ये, what do you want to do in freelance journalism? You mentioned that you've done a course, you got a website. What does Ravi Shankar Kumar 1803, what does he want to do in the line of journalism? Ask yourself that, and then accordingly, जब जवाब आपको खुद मिलता है आईने से, then you start to tag every media house with those articles. ODI is dead with anyone likes Rajan Lucas season in Asia Cup going to exist only in ODI being fielded away. Bilkul, ODI cricket is on its last legs. Vote for Sky. Gail, Ishan, Shreyas, KL, Sky, Hardik Jodhpur, Akshay, Shardul, Shami, Kuldeep. Akshay, Shardul, same match. I don't think it'll happen, but otherwise, that's a very good 11. India should play at least one series with Nepal. It'll help them grow. Bilkul, I've said India, like they go to Ireland once every year for the last 3 years, they need to go to the Netherlands. They need to go to Nepal. They need to go to other smaller teams. Zimbabwe, the BCI, with its clout, needs to find space every year for either a three T20I series or a three ODI series against Ireland, against Zimbabwe, against Scotland, against Nepal, against these teams, ताकि उनकी players अच्छे हो सके. When is your website on Deki? Next year. I'm going to Manali on the 29th of the month to shoot for it, and it'll be out next year. I have another web series out on October 8th on Amazon Mini TV. It's called Constable Girpade. I have a lovely little small. It's a comedy series. So you can see it on October 8th on Amazon Mini TV. Beneath is saying, do you think KL Rahul should continue keeping post World Cup? I would still say Ishan Kishan, given his age and the years ahead of him, post the World Cup, I would go back to giving it to, well, of course, Rishabh Pant will be back. So, no, KL Rahul and Ishan Kishan will not keep. In January, when Rishabh Pant comes back, Pant will take over. Pant will become India's next captain, and everything will be right in the world again. Surya ko mauka do aaj. Bilkul, bilkul, bilkul. Last comment is from Crick Maniac. Jay Shah tweeted on the previous India match. It clocked 2.8 crore concurrent views. Highest ever views for ODI. Do you think ODIs will still be reduced? They'll have to be. These views come in Asia Cups, in quadrangulars, in multi-team series. Bilateral ODIs are just not getting the views. There's too many teams. You talk to any host broadcaster, they actually worry about bilaterals. Yes, ODIs give you longer duration to plug in ads, but the stake, the health of bilateral one-day cricket is at an all-time low. I think ODI should only be played in tri-series, quadrangulars, Champions Trophies, and World Cups. Watching two teams play 5-match series, 7-match series, and the series still going on after one team has wrapped up the series. Imagine a 5-match series. India has beaten so-and-so 3-0. Why do you have to play the last two matches? They are inconsequential matches. This is the problem, dosto. Dosto, I've gone 6 minutes beyond schedule. I've got to go and rehearse for an audition. 1:30, come and see me on Raposo. As always, 1:30 दोपहर को रपोसो ऐप पर. अगर आपने अब तक उसे डाउनलोड नहीं किया तो करिए. आपको 10 सेकंड लगेंगे. फ्री है, कोई लॉग इन नहीं है, वहां पे कोई पैसे नहीं लगते. 1:30 मेरा लाइव क्रिकेट पॉडकास्ट होता है रपोसो पर. उसके बाद 2 come back and see me on News 9 live, and then I'll see you in the evening, as always, on the Cricket Next YouTube channel. Love you all. Have a great day. Jai Hind.